Great. Next on the agenda is the approval of the meeting minutes from the last meeting. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, and now we can get into the applications for board review. First, we have HARB 2026-09, 401 Woodland Ave, adding dormers to the third floor. If you'd like to present, focusing on the exterior renovation.
Yeah, sure. Good evening, everyone. My name's Hume Najdawi. With my wife, own 401 Woodland Ave. As you can see, relatively light changes. It's adding a two-window dormer to the, I guess that's the southwest front facing, and a one-window dormer to the on the other side of the house. It's a round-end house. I think there are 7 or 8 other examples in North Wayne of a similar home. One directly diagonal from us added dormers similarly, and another one diagonal the other way from them did the same, and it just makes the third floor much more functional for us. So I'm happy to answer any questions, but it's really all we had.
So I have questions about the materials you're gonna use. Are you gonna be matching like the
We are.
roof? Okay.
Yeah, we're going to be, for the side, it's cedar in the front. We did a previous edition where we used cedar-looking hardy board, but we think because of where it is, it's the original part of the house with the original cedar. We would just use the same cedar and paint it to match. As far as the roof goes, because of the slope, we have an asphalt shingle roof.
Yeah.
We may be using a copper roof. Just because of the slope on the dormers.
Okay.
To be determined by the architect, and the contractors we've spoken with thus far have both advised metal and likely copper.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And then how did you decide on the sort of ultimate, I guess, dormer shape?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we, together with our architect, I think you see on the plans, Pat McDonough. He was previously with Period Architecture and recently went out on his own. He designed the addition that we have on our house and the renovation in the back. He's a huge fan of William Price and tried to match the shape to the extent possible of what it would have looked like had it been original.
Okay, great. Okay, any other questions?
No, thank you.
Okay, do I have a motion for a certificate of appropriateness?
Motion for certificate of appropriateness.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Congrats.
Thank you all.
Of course, thank you. Okay. Next on the agenda, we have HARB 2026-10, 208 Bloomingdale Avenue, and close the existing front porch.
Hi, I'm Don Eckert. Next. Dee Dee and I are the co-owners of this house, 208 Bloomingdale. We want to enclose the porch. I want to apologize about my hand-drawn elevations. This is a do-it-yourself project. I'm a retired carpenter, so I can do a little drawing, but compared to the other applicants, it's sort of humiliating to see myself up there. Anyway, the first photograph you see is our front porch. We're going to enclose it with double hung windows to match the ones that are already there. We're trying to hold back the dust, the noise, the bugs, so that we can make some use of the porch. You have the drawings. It's really very simple. It's just a knee wall with vinyl windows on top, double hung, all around. I've included a few photographs of similar houses, you know, within walking range of ours. It's a very common sort of alteration to the front porch in Radnor. As far as degrading the architectural integrity of our block, that was already done some time ago. This is what we look at our front door across the street. This is all due to the zoning, which I know you folks don't have any impact on, but most of the buildings on our block have been converted one way or the other. In fact, ours was an apartment building when we bought it. You know, you know the story with zoning. So that's what we'd like to do. Question?
Could you, so there were a lot of, you know, photos and pieces in here. Can you just kind of scroll down to the specific elevations that you've drawn? Just want to go
Yeah.
through them real quick.
You know, this is typical kind of thing. This is probably the closest to what we're going to do.
Okay.
A knee wall, panel underneath, you know, windows up. Everything else remains the same on the house. We're not changing the roof, we're not changing the footprint, we're not changing the stairs or anything like that. We just want to close off our porch so that it becomes usable, you know, more during the year.
So a number of these are just sort of gridded, non-double hung
This is
windows.
like Llewellyn Avenue, it's
Yeah.
a block away.
Yeah. I just want to make sure we understand the window type that you're proposing, the sort of, you know, grid layout, because that tends to be fairly important.
Yeah, it's not a complicated task. We're going to do it ourselves.
Yep.
So simple, actually. But I think it's inconsistent with the house. The house has double hung windows. We include double hung windows. We're doing our best, you know, not to change the appearance of the house.
Yeah.
I understand the windows and the panels below. The part I'm not sure of, if you look at your drawing number two, well, let's look at this one first. You see how there's a single door for their front door with side lights? If you look at your drawing number two, it looks like, almost like French doors. And I don't know if those will withstand the kind of usage that, and you may know better, that a front door, there you go, that a front door would take. I was wondering if something like drawing eight,
So-
photo 8 would be better than drawing 2.
The front door, we have to make it wide enough to carry furniture in and out. That's basically it. So we're going to put a pair of storm doors up there that will both open out.
Okay.
One active door, one passive. In the event that we have to move, we can get stuff out. That's basically it.
And behind the storm doors, there's also a pair of wooden French doors, or is that
No, the storm door is it. I mean,
storm doors?
there'll be a screen door, but nothing else.
Okay.
In other words, this is not conditioned space.
Yes.
We're not putting a formal doorway or anything in. This is strictly enclosing the porch. It's going to be a porch. So that's how we
Will
come
it
up
be your
with that.
primary entry to the home?
Yeah, we're not attaching it to the house. We're not cutting through the walls or anything like that.
Right,
It's
no.
just a porch.
I just wanted to make sure that you know, maybe as a carpenter, you know better than I, whether this will hold up well for the long term versus a single.
Well, we hope so.
Yeah, I know.
Around the back of the porch, the back porch, it's a single door.
Single door, that's right, I saw that, yeah.
Yeah. This is the back side of the house, looks out onto the backyard.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I guess maybe ask another way. So if I look at your drawing 2, so for example, the windows you have in here, just they're 4/4 for the gridding. That's what's drawn in. I want to make sure that that's what's going to be put in. Do you
As
understand what I'm
opposed to-
saying?
I mean, what else would it be? I don't quite
I mean, you
understand.
could get a 4/1, you know what I mean? Like, there's a number of sort of detailed considerations that we're approving as part of this. So as long as this is the finalized design and.
It
these
is.
compo- Okay, that's fine. That's all I wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I have no other plans beside this.
Okay.
And then on the doors, the windows go down to just the lower level, just a few inches off the base. That's because it's a storm door as opposed to,
I think I have listed on my schedule, it's Larson storm doors. Yeah, Larson storm doors. I looked at them, they're, nice. They're not cheap aluminum ones, they have, some wood in them. They're all covered with aluminum or some impervious material. The panels below the windows are, AZEK with applied molding.
Yeah. Okay.
And this is a 130-year-old house. It's a Victorian, it's all wood. So I'm trying to get rid of that. I want to cover it best I can because the wood rots really.
Yes.
Am I allowed to make comments?
Yeah, of course.
I think that if you can just pull up the slide number 15, I think what I would want to look at on that is historically you would see the proportions of the window pane sizes as being similar to what's in the existing house. So typically they were sort of taller or more tall than they are wide. So those proportions, and that's why I think he was asking about the light pattern, the sizes.
Understand.
So the house you were showing, the ones you were showing, the panes were a little bit smaller because typically back then they had smaller sort of panels of glass.
The house has Queen Anne windows. So they have little panes, circular, round,
Right.
the upper. They're all double hung.
Okay.
The windows on the first floor are smaller, I'm sorry, the one I'm putting in are smaller than the existing ones. They're really big windows on the first floor. The Queen Anne style grids, I can't get that. There, of course, the windows, the existing windows are not insulated, it's very old. I don't want to tear them out because they have that antique glass in them, when we use them, I'll keep it.
And you're going to put in a vinyl window?
Yes. The vinyl window will be, simulated vinyl light, so it looks pretty nice. It's not the twin glass strips.
Right, yeah. That is the trick, right? That how do you, it's hard to see all the elevations and what all the other sort of light patterns are.
Yeah, I mean, my consideration is, so I live on Bloomingdale, I know this house very well. The difference between the windows on the house itself, which are, kind of modified 2/2s with some additional gridding, versus kind of again, sort of the style that's permeated for enclosed porches, which is a, fixed frame, not a double hung window, with a different grid design, which is shown throughout the presentation, which would be different than putting operating double hung windows on the exterior of the porch. So that's where I'm thinking through, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, if you look around Radnor, there are very many houses that enclose the porch that put either casements or something else, kinds of windows in there. We're trying our best to maintain the integrity of the house. It's not perfect. I mean, it's not putting Queen Anne windows in there, obviously. But went out of our way not to put casements in that look modern and, detract from the overall appearance of the house. So this is the solution we could come up with.
Yeah. And you're looking to have functional, operable, open, closed windows on
Yeah.
the porch. Okay.
they don't make a storm door where the window portion of it doesn't go all the way down. I mean, it strikes me as just looking a little odd to have the windows on the door go so far down as opposed to the knee wall paneled height of the surrounding windows.
Yeah. The storm doors can be ordered a variety of ways. There can be panels at the bottom and so on.
Yeah, like if I'm looking at, because I'm referencing examples like 5 and 6, for example, the panel of the door carries through into the paneling underneath the windows.
Yeah,
I
I-
think that's what my colleague's
That's
kind of
what-
getting at.
I
Yeah,
think
that's a-
our
that's a good
overriding concern is to maintain the light in the porch.
I don't think putting a panel underneath the part of the door is
I
gonna.
mean, if you think a higher panel on the storm doors is better, that's fine with me.
Yeah.
I have no quarrel with that.
Yeah, I think,
I think it does, it carries
think,
that line
yeah.
of that knee wall a little better, perhaps.
yeah,
agree.
I think, and again, this is a little tricky, right? Because typically porch enclosure is done after the fact, it's not original. So we're trying to consider the kind of quote-unquote existing architecture, even though it's not really the original architecture, but we're trying to make it fit in with all the other porch enclosures, right? So it's trying to strike a little bit of a balance. I think Dave's point around carrying the panel through to the door, that would be ideal. I think I would require that. As far as the window designs,
Well, I have to tell you, there was a Victorian house next to us. In fact, we had 5 of them on the block that were more or less intact. They knocked one down and put up 3 boxes in their place, presumably approved by you folks. So if you look at my charming Victorian next to the 3 boxes that they put up, I think you will agree that this is much more interesting and consistent with the community, and even with vinyl windows on the front porch, it's a huge improvement over what we put up next door, if I may say so.
Yeah. So before our time, but that, I
Yeah.
understand.
that predated us, but, I get your take.
So what do you think about raising the sill of the windows of the double doors? Was that to carry closer to the knee walls you have surrounding the rest?
That's fine, that's
Does that
okay.
work?
Yeah, okay. I would be fine with that. I think if we added that element, that would add a good layer of consistency to the other references that you have here. I think that would be sufficient for me.
Likewise.
Okay, I agree.
Okay, so, a little technical, is there a motion for a certificate of appropriateness with the condition, Dave, you want to spell it
Yeah,
out?
Motion for certificate of appropriateness with the condition that the double doors of the front entry, the lowest level of the windows be similar, not necessarily exact, to those of the surrounding windows with the knee wall.
So with the condition that you carry over the design of the window knee wall to the door. Cool, okay,
Thank you, looks good.
I second it.
okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, all good.
Thank you very
you.
much.
Thank you.
All right. Harb 2026-11, 401 Audubon Avenue, renovations and addition.
Criticize my work as well.
Okay. Feel free to, just step through quickly through the elevations.
Okay. I'm Tim Lucci, a principal at Peters Urban Architects. We were here 2 years ago, a little more than 2 years ago, so our certificate expired. Client is ready, the owners are ready to move forward with the project. And so we're in the, South Wayne Historic District. The house hasn't really been worked on. There was a previous addition put on in the back of the house at some point that really doesn't sort of tie into with the original architecture. So we're removing those pieces, and those pieces are the red sort of squares there. The new addition, everything is in the rear yard, so you can see it somewhat from the street. We're adding an attached garage, family entry, and a new kitchen, which is primarily the work that we're doing up and down the main line for these houses. And so the only sizable thing you can see on the front elevation is to the left of the house that's on that east side. We're removing that flat roof, putting a second story above it, matching the pitch, matching the materials, matching the cornice work of the house, matching the sort of windows and shutters that are there, so all those would be sort of appropriate to what was existing. This is the west elevation, which we're putting in a 3-car garage with the family entry. This sort of a bay window is where the kitchen would be, so those windowsills are a little higher for the kitchen countertop. Bedroom above that, family entry, and a crossover through to an office above the garage, 3-car garage. This side shows sort of most of their yard is on the side of the house, so there's going to be a new swimming pool on that side, which is in front of the existing carriage house. So the carriage house can be converted to sort of like a pool house type of program. And a lot of glass on this side, so this is sort of a family informal dining space that's connected to the kitchen, which would look out into that yard for kids to play. And then this is just the other side of the family entry that sort of bleeds through. Existing front elevation, new addition. There's trying to pull in some of the plasters that were on the existing addition that was there. So those plasters are carrying up through into the second floor, again, matching the roof slope, matching the cornice work. All the materials will be wood, LePage wood simulated divided window. The artisan, they're either a wood siding or the artisan hardy plank, which has a little thicker reveal on it for the siding. And all the cornice work will be either wood or boral or wood. So any work that's done to the front house will just be sort of due diligence for repair. Some of that railing might have to be replaced in kind. So I think they're going to do some of that work. All the windows in the house are going to be replaced, but they're all going to be replaced with wood windows. So the storm shutters will come out, insulated divided light windows will be put in, and they're going to be wood on the interior and exterior. That's the view. We're sort of adding that driveway to get to the back of the house, so the building sort of cascades away, try to sort of diminish the rear so you don't really sort of keep focus on the main sort of stone mass. All the stone on the new addition on the side is going to match. You can see sort of this little 1.5-story addition that's here with the flat roof is all coming off. And this all new stone work on that next mass is going to be match existing. So that's all going to be stone. Little clapboard sort of connector between to break up the mass a little bit, and then a stone garage. Keeping the roof down on the garage. The roof of the addition and the garage is lower, obviously, than the main house. It's also lower than the carriage house. It's just sort of the existing rear elevation, and then garage elevation. That's the east side, where this is sort of the big sort of large area. There's some sort of site walls that are going up to sort of help break the slope as you go up to plateau where the swimming pool will be. And that's sort of what this sort of shows. So you won't be able to see any of that from the street. You won't even be able to see the chairs from the street because there'll be a little ha-ha wall there, and then a couple of steps and up to the pool. That's it. The carriage houses, we're basically maintaining it as it is. There is going to, the first floor is exactly the same. There are some dormers on the second floor that are going on. That's actually not in this presentation, actually. That was an add-on. So the carriage house is going to be changing too. It's going to have a few dormers put on there.
On the carriage house, is it the facade is facing the street that's changing, or?
There is a dormer on the side that's facing the street, proposed.
Okay.
I need to get you that probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think the rest I expect will be just fine. But yeah, I think we'll need that.
Yeah, I don't think that was in the program when we presented the last
Okay.
time. Is that something I can send you through a staff review?
Help? Okay.
So the carriage house has some minor alterations on the elevation on the second floor. So right now, it was the old driver's sort of quarters probably. So there's like 2 windows up there. So we're adding a window, a dormer on the second floor. Can I put that through a staff review for them, or do I need to go on the next meeting?
If it's not part of the application, technically you would have to return.
So could we permit the building, the main house, and do that as sort of a separate piece?
I don't see why not. I think
I don't know if this is gonna be a problem to hold them up, but
Right.
we get into the holidays and stuff, so.
Yeah,
it's
so
summer.
what you're saying is you wouldn't do the exterior without the dormers,
Well, you would do the main house,
the main house?
approve the main house, we could, if they're ready to roll and permit the main house, we could, I'm not sure how quick things are gonna happen, but now that they said to go ahead, I'm sure that they wanna move pretty quickly,
Yeah.
so. And then get on the next meeting for
the
the
additional?
carriage house.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
That sounds
that
Okay.
seems totally reasonable. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I can't quite remember myself with the carriage house
Yeah.
now that we, okay. Yeah, I think there's gonna be a couple small things on that, but
Yeah.
the footprint isn't changing at all.
Okay. Yeah, just, we'll certify or approve the main house and then come back. And then, so that can all get started
Okay.
and then come back for the carriage house. Not a
Okay.
problem. Okay.
I have to commend you on this design, to put that much mass on that lot and have it so receded back so it's not impacting the front. That's a great task. That was well done.
Thank you,
Yeah, I agree. So,
It's very thought out.
thank you.
And the
Yeah.
presentation is good. Even the clouds are well put together.
Yeah, it's a requirement now. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
it just gets, it's easier to understand.
It's
Yeah.
nice.
it does help a lot, so thank
Yeah.
you. Okay, do I have a motion for a certificate of appropriateness for the plan as shown of the main house?
Motion for certificate of appropriateness for the main house.
Great.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, so we'll see you soon.
The next meeting, you'll have a meeting in July.
Yeah, so the next HARB meeting is scheduled for July 1st at 6:30. Applications must be submitted on or before June 16.
And then is there one in August?
There's one every month, assuming we have a quorum.
Okay.
And we've been pretty good about having quorums recently. Yeah. So, okay, great.
Thanks.
So, as I said, next meeting is July 1st, applications on or before June 16. Motion to adjourn. Moved.
So moved.
So seconded, we adjourn. Thank you.